Everyone has an established date. What does that date mean? For us, it marks the beginning of unlimited potential. Our team has been immersed in the startup ecosystem for 20 plus years, and we know how to help large organizations and emerging startups plug in and get connected. For larger organizations, Established helps with your innovation, startup, and communication strategies. From designing your startup program engagement strategy and sourcing companies to developing community programming and communications plans, we roll up our sleeves and put decades of experience to work for you. We have had thousands of startups come through our various programs and will help you accomplish your innovation goals. Our team also produces and promotes virtual, hybrid, and in-person events on behalf of our partners and clients. For startups, our startup community includes an inclusive, year-long program searching for who will win the national title of Startup of the Year. Our community goal is to help you build the connective tissue for your success. We partner with investors and other organizations and ecosystems around the country to bring you valuable opportunities, networks, and knowledge. We provide startups with mentors, office hours, networking, and various methods of exposure like podcasts, pitch events, blogs, social media, and our daily Dealflow newsletter. We're also proud to support a number of startups from our community via our investment arm called Established Ventures. So whether you're a large organization or just getting off the ground, we want to help you reach that potential by connecting you with the audience, innovations, and resources that you need. Connect with us today to learn more.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the week of South by Southwest 2021. I'm Frank Gruber.
And I'm Jen Consalvo, and we're the co-CEOs of Established and managing partners of Established Ventures. And we're so excited to hang out with you this week.
And this kicks off our 11th, that's right, 11th, give me one, 11th year of producing events at South by Southwest. And we're super excited. Obviously, the last two have been a little different because we've been doing it at home.
9 in Austin, 2 virtual, and then hopefully next year we'll be back.
Right. Yes, we're looking forward to that.
Some authentic queso.
Yes.
So in just a moment, you'll be joining 6 really amazing people who work at government agencies who actually work with startups. So they're in charge of programs that have funding opportunities for startups of all kinds. You'll have a chance to interact with them, ask during the Ask Me Anything sessions, and learn about how your company can benefit from these programs.
Lots of great opportunities for startups. So excited about this event. After the event, it's not going to be over. We're going to have a little after event over on the new hot app for audio, Clubhouse. So if you're not familiar, go check that out. The Clubhouse app, there's lots been written about it recently, and you can join the app and find our club. We've got a club called the Startup Community Club, and you can add it or follow it, and we'll add you in there, and you can join some of those events that we'll be having new conversations with that community as well as our community that's watching right now.
Yes, don't be intimidated. It's really fun, it's easy, and we welcome everyone.
So 4 p.m. Eastern approximately, set your watches and calendars.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yes, and tomorrow, March 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we hope you'll come back and join us for our fun Tables Turned reverse pitch event where top VCs are going to pitch the startups. That's everyone in the audience. They're going to tell you about why you would want to take their capital. So you'll hear from companies or firms like Bread and Butter Ventures, Flyover Capital, Republic, Stout Street Capital, Village Capital, Novel Growth Partners, Rain Ventures, and more.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about this because turning the tables. We did a lot of other startup pitch events, so this is going to be a unique
It's pretty different from what we normally do. I'm very excited about it.
Definitely. And then afterwards, don't forget, you can join us in the club again, the clubhouse, if you will. And we're over in the Startup Community Club, and you can, again, follow there and join, and should be some other conversations happening, and you'll be able to interact and maybe get some of your other questions answered, just in the audio format. So don't worry, you don't have to get all done up or anything like that. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you'd like to contact us in the meantime, feel free, just reach out at est.us/contact. There's a little form there, drop downs and things of that nature, and you can figure out where you'd like to direct your message. But we'd love to hear from you, and thanks again for being here today.
All right, let's get the show on the road.
Yeehaw.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brittany Sickler with SBA's Office of Investment and Innovation, here today to talk about America's Seed Fund. What are the Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer Programs? Well, first off, most people know them by being the largest source of seed funding in the country, now totaling over $4 billion a year. But they can be a challenge both to understand and access. And so today we're hopeful that we can give you an overview of the program and a better idea of where there might be opportunities for you and your technology. Now, SBA's mission is to help small businesses start and grow. And so it came to be that we're the coordinating hub across various agencies that each run their own programs. Now, SBIR and STTR were started with a variety of intents, but you can say that across the board, they're trying to help technologies move from lab to market. In particular, federally funded R&D, research and development, and whether those technologies are going to impact the overall technological capabilities of our country, how strong we are in the innovation sense, or if those technologies are going to impact the mission areas of some of those agencies. We'll go into that in a bit. But regardless, there's still this idea that those small businesses, startups, and incredibly resilient innovators are ones that can take some of these crazy ideas and turn them into something really big. Now, we're talking in general terms here, and this is just a smattering of technology areas, but it does help to give an idea of the wide breadth of technologies that are funded. Some agencies are very specific, and you can look at their names and understand more or less what they might be interested in. Others run the gamut. And so whether you're involved in anything from space to artificial intelligence, data, energy, there might be an opportunity for you to apply, compete, and possibly secure funding. Now, I don't want to dive too far into the specifics, but it's helpful to know a little bit of where these pots of money come from. Now, each agency that has R&D investments, they have internal or external R&D investments. Those with the largest budgets in those areas have percentages that are taken out, and that's what kind of fulfills their SBIR or STTR budget. Now, there are 11 agencies in the SBIR realm. They meet those thresholds. And last year, they combined to be over $3.5 billion in SBIR awards. Now, just the largest in terms of funding and of R&D agencies make up the Small Business Technology Transfer Program. Now, that is very similar to SBIR. There's a requirement to partner with a nonprofit research institution, such as a university. That often takes place as well in SBIR. So together, we often refer to that umbrella as just SBIR unless we're specifically calling out a difference in STTR. There's only 5 agencies in that program, but still totals almost $500 million in seed funding. Now, the process does vary across the agencies. And so you look at those technology areas that were just up on the screen. Let's say you find an opportunity, there's a topic area that an agency has put out. You compete initially for a phase 1 award. Now those award amounts vary per agency, anywhere from $50,000 up to over $250,000. Now, based on your work in phase 1, which is more on a proof of concept scale, there's an opportunity to also compete. Sometimes there's a direct path, other times not as direct, but for a phase 2 award. And that's where you have the opportunity to really dive deeper into the research to see what's possible through prototypes, through all sorts of advanced testing. Now, there's a third phase up, which is not SBIR funding, but it is the goal of the program, and that's for commercialization. So additional dollars that are not part of those SBIR pots of funding, but can either come from the private sector. So you think follow-on investment, any kind of acquisition in a sense, or it can be also other government dollars. So we'll go into a little bit of that shortly, but a phase 3 contract through any federal agency can be considered also a success in terms of the actual implementation of the work. So people think all things of SBIR and STTR, but most can agree on 3 large benefits. The first, we're talking about seed funding. The crux of that is this is non-dilutive capital. So after receiving a phase 1 or phase 2 or many awards, you are in control of all the equity in your company. And so you're in a very good position if you do decide to secure any kind of venture or angel capital after. Another benefit is on rights, data rights, your IP protection. And so there was a change here in the last couple years, which actually increased the rights, the government use rights, up to 20 years now. So that prevents the government from sharing any of the information on your technology for that period of time, giving the company the opportunity to do their own intellectual property protection. And then the third is that phase 3. It's still not the easiest process, but to be able to contract with the federal government through a phase 3, it does signify a sole source. So the technology that you worked on in your phase 1 or phase 2, if you're going to extend that or complete or use it, deriving something from that for a federal agency, whether or not you've already sold that technology, the phase 3 rights follow it. And so it's a huge benefit to not have to compete, whether you're selling to DoD, NASA, or beyond. As I'm talking about agencies, here they are, again, with a note of caution that there are many parts to those agencies, and so they don't all have SBIR throughout them. And there can be a bit of a challenge as you look at DoD. It's not a single monolith in the SBIR program. There are actually 3 rather large programs right underneath with Air Force, Army, and Navy, as well as a slew of components, again, each running their own SBIR program. You can see Commerce is already split up here between NIST and NOAA. Health and Human Services, most of their SBIR program is divided with the National Institutes of Health. Many institutes are participating along with other umbrella agencies. You can see that all of these are in SBIR, and just the ones in green are part of the STTR programs. Now, again, not to bog down the slides with too much detail, but it is interesting to see how the budget splits. Not that a large budget always allows for more opportunity. There's still going to be competition throughout these programs, but just understanding that DoD has the largest share, and below that, even Air Force has the largest part of the DoD budget. Looking at Health and Human Services, which in the last few years reached a threshold of over now $1 billion in these awards a year, is very impressive. And so understanding the agencies, how expansive the topic areas might be related to their budget areas is an important step as you see if SBIR funding is going to be a good fit for you. Now, I won't go into detail here, but as I referenced earlier, those differences between SBIR and STTR often have to do with the percentages of work for the small business and for their partners. Also important to note, the small business is always the applicant and awardee. So while it is very common to work with university or other research partners, especially when trying to position a proposal to be the most competitive, to really demonstrate that capacity to build out and work on a technology. All of the award and the responsibility does sit with the small business. And so whether or not you are a researcher now and you don't have a small business and you're actually looking to get more of that business expertise on your team to be competitive on the commercialization side, you don't have to have your business all the way up and running. You do have to have your registrations in place to apply. But you'll see many stories of companies who have really taken off once they've received that funding. So they've put things together, laid a good foundation, were able to secure funding, maybe not on the first try, unfortunately, but we're eventually able to build out their idea and turn it into something large. And I'll actually highlight some success stories in a bit. So as I mentioned, we're talking about for-profit companies receiving, which makes sense when you think about the first two words of each of the program of a small business. Also, the company needs to be US owned and controlled at 51% or more. There's a whole slew of specifics to this eligibility on SBIR.gov. But the one I'll point out here is, for the most part, the SBIR and STTR programs are funding research. If you've already worked on an invention or something new and you're just looking to get that to market, SBIR and STTR will not typically be the place for that to happen. Occasionally, there's an existing technology that is tweaked for a different environment or a different place, a different need or use. But for the most part, we're looking at very high risk, pre-venture capital technologies. And that is the space where this funding becomes most important, because there's not another place typically for this level of funding for some of these technologies to be able to be proven. Here are a variety of the big names. So when I'm talking about some of these companies really going large, most SBIR companies are not household names, but their technologies end up, becoming very present in our lives. So here you can see a variety of even very large companies at one time were small and were eligible, received SBIR funding to really build out the initial parts of their work. And so it might not have played the only role, but a significant role in helping them get off the ground and get to where they are today. There's more success stories of a variety of these technologies on SBIR.gov. Also, there are topic searches, because all those technologies that we looked into before, they don't all translate to broad topic areas. Some of the agencies do, which makes it easier for you to look and see, oh, NSF has an area for quantum computing, and that's where my work resides, and I can apply directly here to that bucket. Oh, but they also have an other section, and they'll take any other technology. Parts of DoD are starting to also have open topics, where traditionally they had very specific topic areas, which also provides an opportunity for companies that are new to this space to enter, because it's not quite as restrictive or taking the chance on this year my topic area is being funded or not. But regardless, like I said, there's such a wide variety, and each of the agencies has a different schedule. So checking out, doing a topic search keyword, you can find a lot of information on the past. You can see what's currently open, and even a schedule for what's anticipated here in the near future. To help you along the journey, we have a variety of other resources online. So I wanted to highlight the online tutorials, which takes you through some agency overviews beyond the ones that are with us today, to really understand who they are and how they operate. Can you reach out to them directly? Do you have to follow a certain procedure? These awards are both contracts or grants, making it harder for people to understand. They assume with the non-dilutive funding that they're all grants, but depending on the agency, their funding structure varies. And so the rules across the granting agencies is going to be slightly different than across running through a federal contract. Now, we call them all awards, and some agencies might even have both, like HHS, where they're 90% grants, 10% contracts. And there's some nuances there. And so you can go online and see one of the tutorials to really figure out what that means for your approach, what that means for your proposal. Well, it's also hard to do all of this on your own. And I find most folks who are interested want to talk through what they're working on. They're very excited about that and want to see, is this something that I would dedicate time towards? It's a significant lift to put together a proposal, especially making it competitive. And so having, whether it's individuals or organizations around to support you through the process is key. We at SBA fund a couple networks of organizations to do just that. They help with everything from understanding the basics of SBIR, the agencies. Some of them offer very intense proposal writing classes and assistance. And we also partner with other agencies that have programs related to technology-based economic development, or we work across existing networks that are building up their capacity to help in the SBIR realm. And so you can find all of that through our local assistance on SBIR.gov. Now there's much more to learn, and we don't want to scare you off too soon. But it's good to be able to layer your knowledge of SBIR. And so if you do want to stay in the loop, I recommend following us through our newsletter, which you'll see the link there, as well as on Twitter. Our team is very excited to see so many things happen across the board. And we hope that you will join us and be able to be part of the SBIR or STTR family and be one of those amazing success stories here into the future. Thank you so much again for joining today, and I wish you luck.
The mission of the Department of Health and Human Services is to enhance the health and well-being of all Americans by providing for effective health and human services and by fostering sound, sustained advances in the sciences underlying medicine, public health, and social services. There are 4 operating divisions within the Department of Health and Human Services, each with their own SBIR program: the National Institutes of Health, the Center for Disease Control, the Administration for Community Living, and the Food and Drug Administration. Of these divisions, the largest share of SBIR STTR funding comes from the National Institutes of Health. There are 24 different institutes and centers across the NIH that participate in the SBIR program. Each group uses the program differently based on their needs and focus areas. These include research infrastructure programs, aging, alcohol abuse and alcoholism, allergy and infectious diseases, arthritis, musculoskeletal and skin diseases, cancer, child health and human development, deafness and other communication disorders, dental and craniofacial research, diabetes, digestive and kidney diseases, drug abuse, environmental health sciences, eyes, general medical science, heart, lung and blood, human genome, mental health, neurological disorders and strokes, nursing research, minority health and health disparities, complementary and integrative health, advanced transitional sciences, library of medicine, and biomedical imaging and bioengineering. The NIH SBIR STTR program has a $1.2 billion annual budget, making it one of the largest sources of early-stage capital for life sciences in the United States. The program offers funding for many types of grants, contracts, and even programs that help repay loans for researchers. Many of the awards come in through the omnibus solicitations, which are reviewed 3 times a year, on January 5th, April 5th, and September 5th. A Phase 1 award is for up to $256,000 over 1 to 2 years, with waivers available for projects that require additional funding. A Phase 2 award is for up to $1.7 million over 1 to 3 years, and also have the option for waivers for additional funds. Finally, unlike other agencies' SBIR programs, the National Institute for Health is generally not the main purchaser of the technologies, but often provides seed funding to bring the product to market or to bring it to an inflection point for partnering or investment. To learn more about the National Institutes of Health SBIR program, we invite you to attend a live Q&A session with representatives from the program, taking place today at 3:30 Eastern Time. For more information about the program, please visit the NIH SBIR website at sbir.nih.gov. The mission of the NASA SBIR program is to drive advances in science, technology, aeronautics, and space exploration, to enhance knowledge, education, innovation, economic vitality, and stewardship of Earth. All 4 of NASA's mission directorates participate in the SBIR program. These directorates are Human Exploration and Operations, Science, Aeronautics Research, and Space Technology. The NASA SBIR STTR program is tied to everything NASA does, with 24 focus areas that cover everything from the Artemis and Moon to Mars programs to human space exploration, space tech, aeronautics, and much more. The program has an approximately $200 million yearly budget, awarded in the form of contracts. Since its inception, the program has awarded more than $3.75 billion and 12,000 contracts to American small businesses and research institutions. Solicitations are categorized 2 ways, either by mission directorate or by focus areas. A Phase 1 award is for $125,000, spanning 6 months for SBIR awards and 13 months for STTR. A Phase 2 award is for $750,000 over the course of 24 months. To learn more about the NASA SBIR program, we invite you to attend a live Q&A session with representatives from the program taking place at 3:30 Eastern Time today. For more information about the program, please visit the NASA SBIR website at sbir.nasa.gov. The mission of the Department of Energy is to ensure America's security and prosperity by addressing its energy, environmental, and nuclear challenges through transformative science and technology solutions. There are 13 program offices within the Department of Energy that participate in the SBIR program, each of which released a list of topics based on their particular needs. The Department of Energy funds a fairly broad range of technologies, including but not limited to clean tech, renewables, efficiency, transportation, power grids, fossil fuels, nuclear fusion, scientific instrumentation, advanced computing, atmospheric, environmental monitoring, preventing nuclear proliferation, artificial intelligence, and quantum information sciences. The Department of Energy has a $300 million yearly SBIR STTR budget, awarded in the form of grants. The SBIR program issues 2 releases for Phase 1 funding every year, one in July and one in November. An SBIR Phase 1 award is for $200,000 to $250,000 over a 6 to 12 month timeline, with 350 to 400 awards given out in a typical year. Phase 2 awards are for $1.1 to $1.6 million over the course of 24 months, with an average of 160 awards given out a year, meaning that roughly 40 to 50% of Phase 1 awardees go on to Phase 2. If you'd like to learn more about the Department of Energy SBIR program, we invite you to attend a live Q&A session with representatives from the program, taking place at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. For more information about the program, please visit the Department of Energy SBIR website. The mission of the National Science Foundation is to support fundamental research and education across all fields of science and engineering. The NSF funds the most innovative ideas in science and technology that spur economic activity and improve the quality of life for all Americans. The National Science Foundation funds all areas of science and engineering. Here's what the NSF looks for when determining which companies to fund. The NSF SBIR STTR program has a $200 million annual budget, awarded in the form of grants. Businesses are free to apply anytime. Just reach out and submit a project pitch. A Phase 1 award is for up to $256,000 over 6 to 12 months. A Phase 2 award is for up to $1 million over the course of 24 months. To learn more about the NSF SBIR program, we invite you to attend a live Q&A session with representatives from the program, taking place today at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. For more information about the program, please visit the NSF SBIR website at seedfund.nsf.gov.